What's up guys, Deluxe Gamer here. I know I haven't been posting as of lately, but I do have more ideas for videos, and of course your support as viewers is a huge motivator for me to keep making content. So if you do enjoy my videos, feel free to leave a like, comment, subscribe, and share my channel with others. And by the way, I'm not being desperate for subs, it seriously means a lot to me that the hard work I put into these videos means something, but anyways, on to the video. As of today and me making this video, it's in the middle of February, which means that for me to make a prediction of who will win the 2020 NBA title, it's safe to say right now is just about the latest I can do it to make it fair as a true prediction. It's right after the trade deadline, so now every team's roster is just about finalized for the season. So, with that being said, yes, in this video, I will in fact be showing you guys my personal input on who could win the 2020 NBA championship, so let's get right to it. Straight off the bat, here are the current standings of the teams in both conferences. The Lakers and Bucks both lead their conferences respectively and are both the likely favorites to keep up this current pace and maintain their number one spots. However, with the departure of Kevin Durant from Golden State and also the multiple moves and signings of stars and superstars to different teams, you could easily say there are now a handful plus of teams from both conferences that are legit title contenders. For the West, that would be the first-seeded Lakers all the way down to the fifth-seeded Rockets. You could easily argue that these teams are legit title contenders. However, even the sixth-seeded Thunder and the seventh-seeded Mavericks are honestly not out of the conversation. However, are also not surefire legit contenders, also because they are so low down in the seedings and would have to face a juggernaut team in the earlier rounds. For the East, it would be the first-seeded Bucks all the way down to the also fifth-seeded 76ers as legit contenders as well, with the sixth-seeded Pacers being in the argument, but not a certainty for a contender. With all this said, I will now go into depth of each conference and who I think will make the conference finals both East and West, the finals, and of course, most importantly, who I believe will win it all. First, we'll look at the Western Conference. Now, as I mentioned, 1 through 5 here are looking like solid, legit championship teams. The Lakers have their core of LeBron and Anthony Davis. The Nuggets have Jokic and Murray with a nice supporting cast. The Clippers with their complementary superstar duo of PG and Kawhi. The Jazz with Donovan Mitchell and Rudy Gobert. And the Rockets with Russ and James Harden. Now, I will say that the two top here are pretty obvious, being the LA teams of the Lakers and Clippers, but that doesn't mean that the other teams won't be able to put up a solid fight or even win in a 7-game series. Now let's go over the detail of each team's strengths and weaknesses, also go further and analyze who has the best shot to win in the West, and also my 2 wild cards for the conference. Starting with the Lakers, as we all know, AD and LeBron center their established core of superstars and are what ultimately their entire team revolves around. Over the course of this year, the two players have vastly increased their chemistry with one another, and in terms of their talent level, there's no need to even say how dominant they both are. Both of them are putting up MVP stats right now, and if they both prove to step up their games when it matters the most in the postseason, it's pretty safe to say that they are a sure bet to make at least the conference finals. They have a solid surrounding cast of players such as Quinn Cook, JaVale McGee, Kyle Kuzma, and Alex Caruso. They also have established veterans such as Avery Bradley, KCP, Jared Dudley, Dwight Howard, Danny Green, and Rajon Rondo. Many of these role players also have championship experience, which will help them immensely when going into a deep playoff run. This easily puts the Lakers as a top 2 team in the West, and it's my prediction that they will be in the Western Conference Finals because of this. Now to the second-seeded Nuggets. This team's best player is no doubtedly Nikola Jokic, a talented center with an inside game and outside touch from the perimeter, yet who also has a unique exceptional passing ability for a big man. Their offense is centered around their pick and roll between Jokic and Jamal Murray, a talented young guard with all-star potential. This team thrives not only with his talented pick and roll and center's passing ability, but also their role players having nice length and shooting ability. Gary Harris, Jeremy Grant, Michael Porter Jr., and Noah Vonleh are to name a few. They have established veterans such as Paul Millsap and Will Barton, but none with championship experience, which does hurt them a lot, especially compared to the Lakers. Experience matters a lot, especially in deep playoff runs. Because of this, also with the lack of them having at least more than one established star on their team, leads me to believe that they are a second round exit at best. However, they are a young team with loads of potential, especially if they do sign another star player in the near future. In a couple years with more playoff experience, expect this team to make some noise in a deep run in the playoffs one day. Now to the third-seeded Clippers. Firstly, their cores of their superstars in Paul George and Kawhi Leonard, both of whom joined the team this past summer. These two players alone put them in potential title contention, but what sets the LA Clippers apart from every other team in this conference and even in the league is that not only do they have two established superstars, but they have one of the best benches, if not the best, in the entire NBA. With guys like Patrick Beverley and Montrezl Harrell bringing in defensive toughness, and also the incredible scoring ability of Lou Williams, they're loaded even when one or both of their stars are on the bench. They have a great surrounding cast, with players such as Landry Shamet, newly acquired Marcus Morris, Patrick Patterson, and Ivica Zubac. What makes them so hard to beat is not only their defensive ability all across the board, aka I forgot to mention the insane defensive ability of PG and Kawhi, but also the fact that when their stars are out, you have to trust your second string unit to guard Lou freaking Williams, who by the way averages a hefty 19 points and 6 dimes off the bench, let alone Montrezl Harrell with his 18 points and 7 boards. This team has their superstar core, surrounding players, and championship experienced coach in Doc Rivers. Even though they have a lack of experienced veteran bench players with championship experience, Doc's leadership along with Kawhi's experience will, I believe, ultimately take this Clippers team to the Western Conference Finals. The 4th-seeded team in the West are currently the Utah Jazz. Now, this Jazz team have two first-time All-Stars, one that is a defensive big man stud in Rudy Gobert, and Donovan Mitchell, a third-year guard who can defend and score extremely well. They also have Mike Conley, a talented veteran point guard. Their supporting cast is excellent. They have incredible scoring ability with players such as Bojan Bogdanovic, newly acquired Jordan Clarkson, and Joe Ingles. That is some nice shooting ability they have, and they thrive particularly well with their incredible ball movement to find open shooters. They also have solid bench players such as Emmanuel Mudiay and Royce O'Neal. They don't have a solid wing defender who can guard a superstar small forward, but with the stifle tower and Gobert holding down the middle, that honestly almost offsets that problem completely, being that you have to force them to drive and kick when said star player drives to the rim. Although Gobert is only averaging 1.9 blocks per game this season, I expect this number to increase big time in the playoffs. Do not drive to the rim if this man is in the paint, trust me. Not to mention he's also averaging an insane 14.5 rebounds per game. Even with all this said about this team though, they still don't have a superstar talent next to Gobert, and even though they are a very complete team all in all, I still can't put them in a class of the LA teams as of now. However, they are honestly one of my wildcard teams in the West that could possibly sneak their way into the conference finals, but I will say they're at least a likely second round team. Now finally to the 5th-seeded Rockets. First, you look at their core of triple-double machine in Russell Westbrook and the historic scoring guard in James Harden. Both players have won an MVP and both have made it to the finals. This duo alone puts them in clear title contention, but unfortunately I don't believe they have what it takes to make it past the second round, maybe not even the first, and here's why. For one, they just traded away their only solid big man who played good minutes for them in Clint Capella. I understand they did kind of need solid wing shooting and defense, and Robert Covington is, don't get me wrong, an excellent 3-and-D player. But when the game is slowed down and you have to rely on an old 6'5" PJ Tucker to defend and rebound against solid big men, it won't turn out very well for you. Of course, they do have the monster rebounding of Westbrook, but you aren't going to win a championship if your point guard is your best rebounder. However, with this said, they can still make it to the second round, due to James Harden having another historic scoring season and Russ being Russ. With the scoring ability of Eric Gordon, Austin Rivers, and Ben McLemore off their bench, they have a very nice supporting cast. They also now have excellent ring defense due to newly attained Robert Covington and also Thabo Sefolosha. Their wings can also shoot the ball very well. With their wing defense, they may play better against another championship team such as the Clippers, who have wing superstars, but may struggle mightily against the Lakers, Jazz, and Nuggets, who all have star big men. But regardless, if you can't defend or rebound in the paint, it's honestly game over, regardless of what insane scoring ability James Harden brings to the table. I believe they'll be lucky to be a second round exit. And now finally to the top two teams in the West, being the Lakers and Clippers. I believe it is incredibly likely that these two teams will make the conference finals, but a team like the Jazz or honestly even the Mavericks, who by the way are my second wildcard team, could sneak in if they prove that their regular season records are not completely representative of how good they truly are. Concerning, however, who I believe will win between the two LA teams, it will come down to their benches. I understand that perhaps LeBron and AD may be considered the better duo, even though it's close, but think about it. The Clippers can double team AD in the paint and also have the luxury of their two superstar wings that can guard LeBron extremely well. Although you can't technically stop AD in the paint due to his dominance, they can make a concerted effort to slow him down with Montrezl Harrell crashing the glass and with double teams. Even though the Lakers have more championship experience across the board, the Clippers have Lou Williams off the bench, who will give them an insane scoring punch. Now, the Lakers can counter this with the defensive point guard stoppers in Avery Bradley and Rajon Rondo, but I still expect to see a solid 20 points per game plus off the bench for Mr. Sixth Man of the Year. However, you know the greatness King James will show in a series like this, with also AD right alongside him, putting up what I'm sure to be incredible numbers. If the Lakers bench proves to be too much and perform very well, expect them to win in 6 games or so. However, if the Clippers bench shows up big time, I expect the Clips to win in also around 6 games. The coaching matchup is close, with Doc Rivers having championship experience, but don't leave out Frank Vogel, who still has coached some excellent teams. It will be a very close matchup regardless. However, my prediction is that in the end, the Los Angeles Clippers are the team who I believe will win in 6 or 7 games. This is because I think their talent off the bench will be unparalleled, although just because their bench is better, it doesn't necessarily mean that they will show up more, especially because of the championship experienced vets of the Lakers. They still have to show up, but are more likely than the Lakers bench I think to prove to be the difference because of overall talent level. It will be close and could honestly go either way, but my pick is the LA Clippers making it out of the West into the finals.